Hi, I'm Paige Ann Olson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And joining me is half of a sibling set of kittens that we just adopted. And this is Amos. I wanted to introduce you to him. And he wants down. You might hear them in the background because they're running around. Today, I'd like to show you something that really helped me get nice half square triangles. And it's this half square triangle paper. And boy, they are not perfect, but they are almost perfect half square triangles using this paper. And I'm going to show you how to use the paper. So join me. At the beginning of the year, I purchased a quilt box from Primitive Gatherings that I get every other month. And in the box has this, what I love is this very cute carousel pattern. And I have made 4 of the blocks. Each box comes with a pattern for 2 blocks. Here is one of them I wanted to show you. And that has a lot of half square triangles. So this is a perfect project to use our paper for. Just as a little peek, I've combined the boxes, but they have a lot of other cute, there's so many other cute little, that's a cute little quilt I haven't made yet. This is like a little wall hanging. I haven't made that yet. I mean, there's a bunch of projects, and I combined the first and the second box. And in here, I can't close it. In here is, I got some triangle paper, another cute wall hanging, another cute quilt, and another cute little, I'm not sure what this is. It's a 32 by 32, so it's a wall hanging. And then I get cute little stickers, and I've gotten, she does caramels in all of her boxes, but they come with so many things. Anyway, I thought it was cute and I wanted to show it to you. And I love her boxes. I'm just really happy with them. But because there are so many half square triangles, I want to show you a way to make them so perfectly that notice how they come together to make those little bow ties. And that's what you want. You want them to be able to do that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to use these. So the first step in this process of using the triangle paper is to know what finished size half square triangle you need. And I had already had this in my stash, and it just happened to be the size that I needed. So I've gone ahead and cut one of the squares from the roll. This actually will make 8 half square triangles, just this one sheet. What we're going to do once we place it on our fabric is we're going to cut on the solid line and stitch on the dotted line. Hopefully you can kind of see that. And so what we're going to do is wrong sides, put this on the wrong side so you can see your lines. And you're going to put that on top of your already prepared fabric. So I have the background fabric here, and then my half square triangle fabric to make my carousel squares. And I have done a new kind of thing. I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but I do. And I'm actually starching the fabric first when I get it. It kind of pre-shrinks the fabric, and it makes the hand nice and stiff, and really helps with the crispness, helps with getting accurate cuts and accurate sewing. And I'll have a video that I will show you how I do it. There are other videos out there if you're interested in learning how to do it. But I've already pre-starched all my background fabric and my fabric that I got in my quilt box. So, right sides together. I'm just going to place this sheet right on top of that. And I'm just gonna stick a pin, one of my little piecing pins. These are little, in the middle. Because what I wanna do before I sew it, take it to the sewing machine, is I'm gonna cut this excess fabric off. Just put my ruler there and just cut that off. And then I'm ready to take this over to the sewing machine and sew along all of the dotted lines. I'll put a pin in each corner to do that. You don't have to do that, but it helps the fabric and the paper not shift, at least in the beginning. So, and I'll show you how to do that on the sewing machine, and I'll be right back. I now have my stitch length down to 1.4. So 1.4, 1.5, either will work. You want it very small. That's kind of the idea. And I'm going to start, there are 2 dotted lines, and I'm going to start on the outside line. I didn't tell you because I forgot, but this one piece of paper will make 8 half square triangles. And I put on some light gray thread. Hopefully you'll be able to see how this works and how easy it is. And this is about as hard as it gets right here. I very often will piece in a very light gray. I didn't in this particular one. And I go ahead for the outside. Hopefully you can see this. You can see right, this is the line that I just sewed. I'm using a Microtex needle, which is a very fine needle. It's kind of a, I just bought a big box of them, and I use them for almost all my piecing. It's a very nice, thin, perfect needle for piecing. So I'm going to go ahead and finish stitching, whoops, that's big, all the way around, and then I'll come back and show you what happens next. Here's my finished square. So we're going to go ahead and cut this now on the solid lines, and I'm going to start on the edge. Notice the edge has a solid line. Both sides. Oh, actually, I'm going to take the pins out first. That's the first thing I'm going to do, because I want to get a nice cut. And if the ruler hits the head of those pins, it won't be a good cut. So using my rotary cutter, cut the edges off. And now that the edges are off, and I'm going to go ahead and cut on the solid lines in the middle first. Just lining up my ruler. Here's another solid line. Cut right there. Again, lining up my ruler. So I'm going to end up having 4 squares. That are going to actually, each square is going to make 2. There's a solid line in the middle, and I'm going to cut that. What's really important about this is cutting and sewing, cutting accurately and sewing exactly on that dotted line. I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting all of these. You know, these triangle papers that I bought, I got these from Fat Quarter Shop. Primitive Gatherings, she has triangle papers as well in all different sizes. Both of them carry them in all different sizes. I have some small sizes, but after this, I'm going to get some bigger sizes, because this is the great way to do these half square triangles. Okay, so I'm done cutting. The best way to take the paper off is I just fold it down to the stitch line like that. And I grab, holding on to this top corner right here, I grab and gently tear. And this is why your stitch length was so small, because it really helps that paper to come right off. So before pressing, here's my cute little half square triangle. I'm going to go ahead and take the paper off of all of these, and then I'm going to be back and show you how I finished the half square triangles to get them ready for my next carousel block. So here is our final step. I've got my triangles, and we're just going to open them up. I have pressed each of the seams to set the seams, and for this particular project, I am not ironing to the dark side. I'm actually going to open the seams. So I'm going to open seam. I'm going to press this, give it a nice press. I am using a dry iron. I think I like a steam iron, and this will, if I put water in it, it'll steam. The thing about a steam iron is, or putting water in an iron, the iron just doesn't last as long. It gets rusty on the inside. And so I typically try not to put water in my iron. That's why I use this instead. So I'm going to use my clapper to make that seam really nice and thin. And then using my little Creative Grid, this is a 4.5-inch ruler, if you can see it. I'm going to go ahead and cut my half square triangle to the size that I need. Here it is, nice, and oh my gosh, it's like perfect. And probably the only thing that we'll need to come off are the little dog ears. And I'll let you know, yep, it looks like it's just perfect. Oops. I'm gonna take my little dog ears off. You probably don't need a ruler to do that. However, because you're lining up the size, it's a really good way of getting anything excess off to give yourself just an absolutely perfect half square triangle. I hope you've enjoyed this video making half square triangles. I have a lot more of these to make to finish this quilt. I do love the quilt though. I love the colors. I think it's going to be really pretty when it gets done. If you have enjoyed this video and learned something, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave comments. I'd love to hear from you. And I'm very curious today, what's under your needle?